What is up, YouTube? The Warlord Shogun here, and welcome to the After the Patch video series that I'm doing. This is part 2, and I'm on my Ranger. So basically, I'm just going to quickly go over a little bit of the stuff that changed. For the Ranger, absolutely nothing changed for the specialization of the Druid, and the other traits that they changed were quite minor, just a couple of seconds here and there. I'm not going to go over it really. I'm only going to go over the shouts because that's what I'm using now. But link will be in the description below of the forum post, and you can read all the exact changes yourself. So yeah, I'm just going to dive right into the build basically. So beforehand, I was swapping between standard longbow Power Ranger style build and the Druid, the meta Druid, whatever, with glyphs. I was swapping between those builds before the patch, but now the shouts on the Ranger have been made incredibly good. So I recommend using shouts, and currently this build is just a pretty standard power based build, but it's clerics because it's Druid. So as always, I will start with the trait lines. So Beast Mastery, Nature Magic, Druid. Beast Mastery is your pet stuff. Nature Magic is all your healing stuff, and Druid is the specialization, which is also healing. So there, pet's more powerful. Skills gain recharge reduction. So your pets are more powerful. You can hit that F2 ability more often. Simple as that. Here, this applies with the shouts. So shouts apply regen and swiftness and reduce recharge on shouts. Gotta have this. Here you got loud whistle. So when your health is above the threshold, your pet deals more damage. This is key to the strategy with this bristleback here, and which is one of the new pets with the Heart of Thorns. This build will only work if you have Heart of Thorns because you have to have this pet for this build to work. So apologies to all of you guys that don't have Heart of Thorns and can't use these specializations, but you really need to get Heart of Thorns if you intend to PvP, because the specializations are quite powerful and going without them is a huge hindrance. Moving on. So here is your pet has natural health regeneration and improved healing, so it's just helpful to have, and the other ones really aren't helpful in any way. Here we have Pet's Prowess, so pets move faster and deal more damage on critical hits. So, simple as that, and you want them to deal more damage on critical hits based on the strength of the pact is going to give them Fury, plus this build is highly dependent upon this bristleback. So, at least for damage sake it is. So, this is a really nice minor here. And then of course you have to have Beastly Warden. It's a troll skill, control. It does taunt, and you could swap it for Zephyr's Speed, but the taunt, since this is a tanking build, is far better in my opinion. Moving on to Nature Magic. For here, you just gain regeneration when you're hit below the threshold. That's basically all there is to that. Just nice healing. You gain quickness when your health drops below 50%, and you gain power based on your healing. Since this is a cleric build, you have a lot of healing, and so 13% of the healing is put back into power, which is a lot of healing and a lot of power now. Here, any boon you get is shared with your pet. This is very key because you gain a ton of boons, especially with the Warhorn, and you gain regen and swiftness of all kinds. You're going to might stack with guard, and you're going to might stack with strength of the pact. You're also going to might stack because you use the axe, and yeah, and since it's shared, you and your pet is going to deal a ton of damage, and this F2 skill is going to do huge bursts. Like, you can just see it right there in the numbers. Like, it is big burst DPS. Here, Call the Wild grants regeneration and Warhorn skills recharge faster. Have to have this because 4 is your main DPS that you can inflict, and your 5 skill is very important for boon gain and your mobility, plus it's a combo finisher. So Gotta have this, no getting around it. Boons applied by you and your pet last longer, so basically just longer boon duration. Simple as that. And this makes the pet F2 ability to heal. So, and this is anyone that's near the pet within 300 radius. So quite helpful for survivability, and 2500 health is quite a bit. So it's nice. And then Druid, everybody should know what Druid is, it's healing. So basically this gives you access to all the glyphs and the Druid celestial avatar form. Of course you gotta run Druidic Clarity. They did I mean these other skills here are helpful, but this one is by far the best. There's no getting around it. These skills are good, but in comparison to this, you have to run Druidic Clarity. Here, when you heal an ally, you are also healed. That has a cooldown of 1 second. So it's just a little added healing. Whenever you throw some heals on other people, you get healed as well. So it's a nice support other people, and it supports you back. And here, you gotta run this one, because it will reduce the recharge and movement impairing conditions, and your movement and speed is increased as long as you don't have those conditions. So it's a permanent 33% speed increase, and getting rid of this build's mobilization is very bad. This build has to stay moving, because it's a ranger. You're not a heavy armor, super regenerative class like a guardian bunker. This is a ranger, so you're medium armor and have less health, and so you gotta stay moving and continuing to throw your heals, and if you're hit with one of these soft crowd controls, it'll make it harder. Here you got Natural Mender, so increase outgoing healing whenever you heal another ally. Super easy because your pet counts. So you basically, when your staff is out, and you're doing your auto attack, anybody that's your ally that passes through it gets healed, boom, that gives you a stack. Your healing now does more, and you can stack up to 20% added outgoing healing effectiveness, which is just awesome to have. That includes all your healing that you're throwing out, including regen. So very, very team supportive, and even to yourself. And here you got Lingering Light. This is still the best one to have, even though they've nerfed it on and off. It's still the best one to run in comparison with the other ones. I mean, the other ones just don't even, apply unless you're a Condi build. Then you might consider that. But since this is not Condi, you want to run Lingering Light. And basically, it's just healing an ally causes their next attack to heal them and blind their target. So quite helpful. And that's it for the traits. This is Cleric build, and since this is Shouts, you gotta run Rune of the Soldier for the Condi removal. Gotta run Axe, Warhorn, and then Staff, and then Bloodlust and Purity on both. Purity for the additional condition removal, because there's a lot of conditions being thrown around out there right now, especially from Necros, but Elementalists do it too. The Warrior has a really good condition build right now, so conditions are out there. That's why this build emphasizes a lot of Condi removal, because there's a lot of Condis. So now to explain basically how this build works. So it shouts, so every time you use a shout, it's going to remove a condition, but that's just, simple stuff. The goal of this build is when you charge into combat, you should have already activated Call of the Wild to get to the first point. Then you use Strength of the Pact to stack the Might. You target somebody and you use Sick 'em and tell them to Spike Barrage, and then you start using your auto attack. The Tyrannosaurus Rex here, my little pet, the bristleback, is going to hit 15 times. Now, not all 15 are probably going to hit. They're going to be moving, they're going to be dodging, but a good number of them are going to hit, and you're spamming auto attack the whole time the pet is attacking. Once the pet is done, use your heal skill, even if you're still full health and don't need the heal, because now this shout will copy your boons and your pet's boons and add them to each other. So basically, you gain your pet's boons and your pet gains your boons. So basically, the might that your pet just stacked from those 15 hits are now going to go onto you. Plus, this should give you 3 stacks. This should be pulsing, yeah, grants might to you and your pet when you attack, so this grants might, and when you're auto-attacking, it gives might. And so you should have stacked roughly 13 to 15, 18 stacks even of might yourself, and your pet should have stacked just about the same, more or less, because your pet has Strength of the Pact on as well, plus it should have been around to receive that bonus, and all the hits is granting might to itself. So when you use this, you're going to stack 25 stacks of might for approximately 13 seconds. And then you just kind of hit your 4 skill there, and that'll finish them off. They'll die after that. And even if they don't, you're going to use guard, which is also going to might stack, because you're going to gain might when your pet receives damage. So whenever your pet is hit, you gain might. Simple as that. So you can continue your might stack, and only swap to staff when you really need the control and the heals and stuff. Otherwise, just stick to your Mace Warhorn, as it is the bulk of your damage. The other pet I use is the wolf for the fear effect, because you gotta run at least one of these kinds of pets, so when you're downed you can fear them away and kind of stall your death for a while. And yeah, they basically changed guard, so now it affects you and nearby allies, and your pet's gonna take all the damage that you and your nearby allies would have received, and it's gonna stack might on you. Plus boons are shared with your pet, so you can might stack your pet as well with the heal is 1, and so it's really nice. Plus the cooldown is really short. Protect Me is it's a break stun, and it taunts and applies protection. And basically, it also breaks allies out of stun, so it's really helpful for in case a warrior uses Earthshaker. You can just use Protect Me and they all break stun, bam, super helpful. Sick'em is great for fighting thieves and the stealth mesmers, because those are still a thing, and it'll reveal them for 6 seconds, and there's no way they're getting away from you after they get hit with this. So that's that. Only you go into Celestial Avatar form when you either A, have a ton of conditions on you, B, you have to break the stun in order to keep moving, or C, to provide massive healing support for yourself and for your team. For those of you who aren't really sure and just kind of mash buttons when they're in Celestial Avatar form, definitely use the Rejuvenating Tides. You can move, it's going to pulse massive healing. You can follow up with Lunar Impact to daze people and apply more healing. If you need Condi removal, then your 2 is the ability to use, and as you saw, my skills were recharging very fast, so if you don't have to use the 2, you can save again and hit the 4 again, which is going to do massive healing. Now there's also, I like to go into Celestial Avatar form when people are grouped together, because the number 5 skill on the druid is like a slow and actually does some good damage on it, so that's also applicable too. And I recommend never using the auto attack in the druid avatar form, because you're likely to miss. The hit area of effect is not going to be beneficial. You basically have to be standing perfectly still in order to hit yourself with it, and hitting other people with it is going to be impossible. It really is. You can't predict people's movements, and even if you did, you're going to end up missing like 4 of the 5 shots you do at them, because it's a ground target skill. And so it's just not worth using. It's much easier to just hit the 4 skill and just heal them that way, and then pulse heals with the 3 and 2 skill. It's just so much easier. And that's basically all there is to it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment below, and stay tuned for the other parts in this series and for unranked PvP videos where I display this build and along with the other ones. Alright, thank you everybody, and have a great day.